He's the ultimate survivor of Israeli politics, Benjamin Netanyahu, or Bibi, as he's more commonly known. But Israel's Prime Minister's under pressure like never before from senior figures in the US over the war on Gaza. Here's Senate leader, Jewish-American Chuck Schumer.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way.
And President Biden has said Netanyahu's conduct is harming Israel. You may have seen a recent US intelligence report that suggests Netanyahu's viability as a leader may be in jeopardy. So let's recap how it started and how it's going. When Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, killed 1,200 people and took 257 hostages, Netanyahu declared war. He set some goals: destroy Hamas, return the captives, keep Israel safe. Well, first, a lot of Israelis say that last point was a bit late, and they accuse Netanyahu's government of ignoring warnings that an attack was imminent. Regardless, what's been described as a war without rules was unleashed on Gaza. Most of its victims, Palestinian women and children. Destruction that defies description.
We will finish the job in Rafah.
But what about the hostages? One deal led to a pause in the bombing and the return of more than 100 captives, only for the onslaught to resume. Many relatives have accused Netanyahu of sacrificing the captives still in Gaza for the sake of his ambition to destroy Hamas, which that same US intelligence report says is highly unlikely to happen anyway. But Netanyahu's fate is tied to the war he started, in more ways than one. He's the head of a right-wing coalition government with a narrow majority. He needs to keep influential members like Itamar Ben-Gvir happy. Ben-Gvir has threatened to collapse the government if the war in Gaza ends prematurely. He says he wants to resettle Gaza and push the Palestinians out. So for now, the war goes on, despite the allegations of genocide, despite the appeals from allies and criticism from rivals. The war has broad support within Israel, but hasn't done anything for Netanyahu's approval ratings, which remain low. There's a good chance that any new elections would see him out of office. While the war continues, his position is more secure. And it's worth remembering what else is at stake for Netanyahu. He's on trial for corruption, bribery, fraud, and if he's convicted, he could become the third Israeli leader to end up in prison. The trial was postponed time and again, first because of the COVID pandemic and then due to the Gaza war. Although the trial has resumed, Netanyahu's lawyers have once again tried to stop it because Netanyahu and some key witnesses are busy, and as long as the war goes on, they'll stay busy.
We have no other option but total victory.
Which is why many Israelis, indeed even the opposition Labour Party, are wondering if a long, drawn-out war might also be a way for Netanyahu to stay out of court and even jail. For Palestinians in Gaza, the cost of Netanyahu's war has been paid with tens of thousands of lives. What happens next for them is hard to predict, but Benjamin Netanyahu will have a lot to do with it.